Get in a little bit closer here so you can see that. And I've got some more of my handy marbled paper. Just gonna peel that back. When you decide last second you want to layer something. Luckily Mod Podge is not that fast drying, so I can do this. I'm just gonna lay down a little bit more. And I'm gonna plunk some of that underneath there. Actually, I'm going to rotate that. Sometimes I find myself missing digital art when I'm working on traditional medium, because with digital art, anything I don't like, I just delete it. Not so with traditional art. Traditional art is ballsy. You gotta make your decision and stick with it. And that's looking nice so far. And I think I'm going to go ahead and start doing the top half of this plank. Plunk down some more marbled paper. Just kind of fill that space in. I don't really have much of a plan here. I have a couple of ideas of what I want to do, but this is very intuitive. So now, let me think about what we want to do next. Another thing that I had gotten in the mail was a lot of these sheets of paper with this random scripts and random text, and I do think that I'm going to want to put that on at least one side of this canvas. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Get that all nice and covered. And this is what we're working with so far. Okay, so we've got the bottom half that we're going to have to do something with. And a little bit of the top half as well. I imagine we're not quite finished here. So what to do now? And this here I have from a piece of magazine that I had kind of just lifted the ink off of. I like that it's also got a little bit of text on it that you can barely read. I think that really fits into it well, and I'm just going to start cutting up pieces of the marbled paper so that I can fill in everything around that little area. And I just kind of have my quotes off to the side here, trying to figure out if I want to add any extra words. The script there is just kind of nonsense stuff. I don't think that it really is legible or says anything, but I just like the way that typography looks in my collages. But I want to have something that's visible that people can actually see and read and take some meaning into. So I'm kind of going through these to see if I have anything flower or butterfly themed that would be appropriate. And I did eventually find something that worked. And I settled on this one. I think it's a good quote. I think it's going to fit in with this really well. And now I got to figure out how I might possibly finish up the top of this, which I'm kind of having a hard time doing right now because I like the marbled paper so much and I don't want to cover too much of it. But I do want to be a little bit more adventurous, add more shapes and textures and variety, maybe layer a few things. And I did find this piece of paper that I liked the top half very much, so I just cut the flowery part off of it, and I'm just going to put some glue over here and I'm going to paste that on. because the words don't have to take up the whole page. Now let's see, I think I'm going to get rid of some more of this excess red marbled paper. When in doubt, when you really don't know what to do with the negative space, just cover it with something. Something that matches the color scheme, but that it wouldn't break your heart if you had to cover it with something else. That's kind of what I've taken away from layering paper. You put the thing that you think would least distress you to cover up on the bottom. And I have another kind of Victorian-esque piece of paper here that I had cut on a previous project and not used. And I'm going to use it for the little visible flower stem you can see here. And I feel like as soon as I figure out how I want this corner to go, which I may just paste that there because I didn't have plans for it anyway. I'm kind of brainstorming what I want to do with this. So many things I could do, so many spare scraps of paper, but let's keep it flower themed. Flowery and wordy. And I think I'm going to, because it would look good right there, just slap 2 quotes, because who said I had to use one? And I really do like that one a lot. Fits with the overall theme, and it's true. Now the butterfly I'm not going to put down just yet because I need to let all of this dry, and I'm probably going to need to put something heavy over it to make sure that the paper doesn't crinkle up. Then I'm going to come back and put the butterfly onto the collage. And we're back a day later and everything is dry. And as you can see, I've gone through a lot of my quotes. But that all dried well. Everything's nice and flat. It's not curling up. I just let it dry with some heavy books placed on top of it. And it came out nice and matte and flat. And all I gotta do is put the butterfly into that negative space now. And I did use hot glue originally, but it wasn't great, so I did end up putting a little bit of super glue there as well to keep that on there. But now it stays on there and it looks really beautiful. I was actually pleasantly surprised, and I continue to be pleasantly surprised at really having no rough draft and having no plan for what I'm doing, and how well these things just kind of come together. Years ago when I was at a wine and food festival, just a little bit of personal backstory, I had come across this artist that was just putting random things on her canvas, whether it was paint, feathers, paper, and it wasn't like anything I'd ever seen. It was very abstract, but everything that she put down on her canvas just seems to work. And even today, I've never forgot seeing her work on it. And when I asked her what she was doing, she called it intuitive painting or intuitive art. And I guess that is kind of what this is, because you can't sketch this out. You can kind of grab a few things that look similar and say maybe these things will come together, but then you don't know what's going to happen when you start putting things down on the canvas. And I have gotten a little bit nervous and a little bit agitated because I'm not used to working without a plan, just throwing paint at the wall, I guess you can say, and seeing what sticks. And I've been pleasantly surprised with each collage project, how it's just seemingly come together whether I knew what I was doing or not. So I highly, highly recommend it to people who are just trying to see what you can create when you get out of your own way and out of your own head. And the stuff in my craft drawer that sat there for 2 years suddenly has purpose and meaning again, and I think there's something very beautiful about that. That you could upcycle a lot of your old stuff and make a completely, totally new entity. And I think I would like to do a couple of more of these, but I have one more scheduled to come out that's going to have a little bit of a space theme, so look forward to that. But I think the next one I make after the one I'm releasing after this, I would like to actually move to bigger canvas and try to make some bigger one as soon as I figure out how to film that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next art story. Bye for now.